Hey guys, welcome to the Sunday video. We're going to go run some errands, get some parts for the spot welder project. But first we're going to talk about a little noise issue we've been having. I bought this El Cheapo eBay special roof rack for the Camry so that I can haul things back and forth from work. And yeah, if I can't solve this noise issue, I'm never going to use it. We're going to talk about why it looks stupid here in a minute. Alright, so it's Sunday, it's cold as hell. We're gonna go pick up some stuff for the spot welder project. Sad to say I didn't keep it under $10. I just added a few things that you wouldn't necessarily need to have. So technically, I'll show you the parts that would keep it under $10 and then what I added that goes over that cost. Really, we'll have spent around $15 total. So in Monday's video, hopefully we'll have the whole thing assembled, put together. Today though, we're going to go over the transformer and talk about how we brought down the voltage and brought up the amperage so that we could use it as a spot welder. And we're going to plug that in and we're going to spot weld some things together. And then after that, we're going to wire it up, put it in the housing, install our safety switches, and we'll be good to go. So yeah, as far as this roof rack goes, you can see the duct tape on there and the string. So I put this thing on, long story short, everything's tight. It actually fit pretty well for an eBay roof rack. And you can't hear it on the camera, I'm sure, but it just makes this god-awful droning. If I put my hands up here on the headliner, I can actually feel it vibrating a little bit. And it kind of comes and goes, but if you're at highway speeds, 60, 70 miles an hour, really anything over 55, it really is bad. Like, I'm really surprised it doesn't come up through the camera. But a few things I tried. When you work in a shop, wind noise is like my absolute least favorite thing to deal with. Like, it is terrible. And this is what you do, is you tape stuff off and you tape different creases and stuff like that and figure out where your wind is coming from, because all it is a manipulation of the air that's causing the noise somewhere. So I taped off a bunch of holes because a lot of the access panels on that thing for where the bolts go in and hold the thing together don't have covers like the nice Thule's would or anything like that. Wasn't going to spend that kind of money on a 96 Camry. So I blocked off those holes with the duct tape. Normally, if you use tape to pinpoint a wind noise, you would want to use painter's tape or that green frog tape because it's not going to leave a residue behind. That's all I had in the garage at home, so I tried that. Didn't work. So then I had read online that if you spiral paracord around the bars that go across, it'll manipulate the wind and break up the plane that it's hitting on that bar and reduce the noise. Makes sense. Old antennas did it too. They had a little spiral on them for the same reason. So I tried that on the front and the back, and it really didn't get any better. So my noise, I think, has got to be coming from the bases somewhere. I might test out a few more things, see if I can get that figured out. If I do figure it out, I'll let you know. Otherwise, this thing will be in the trash because it's literally so bad that I can't stand it. We're going to make a few pit stops, and then we'll catch back up. Just left Harbor Freight, spent way too much money. I swear I should own stock in that store. Again, they were just things that I wanted to add. So now we're going to go drop off some rent money over at the storage unit where I got my motorcycle and some other stuff sitting. It's also where projects go to die, so you'll see what I mean in a minute. Oh my God, are you ever going to turn green? Alright, so we've arrived at the storage unit. Yes, that's my Avalon. Don't ask. Kyle needs his money, so we're going to drop that off and show you where things come to die. It's dark in here. Yes, I have another Mazda pickup. Yes, that's a supercharged Chevette with a 4-barrel carburetor on it. Yes, that's a diesel Chevette, and I dropped Kyle's money off so we can leave.
There you go, Kyle, you prick.
Alright, so we got everything we needed. We dropped off some rent money. Life is good. We'll pick this right back up when we test out the modified transformer. So the modified transformer is ready to go. We got our cable leads here that we rewound after we took the base off. We actually epoxied this back together. We put our primary back on, and the spade connectors are ready to go. I'm going to put a clip in right now to show you how that was done.
So now that we got the transformer all modified, we had to strip this cable end down a little bit. This end already had a lug with an eyelet. It's just plated copper, and I got another one. We're going to have to crimp it down. I'm going to use a nut buster because I don't have a crimper large enough to do this, so I'm going to just work that around in 4 spots. I'll show you how that's done here in a second.
So the idea is I have this nut buster tool. The idea is you'd put the bolt between this spike and this flat piece here, and then you tighten this nut on the end, and it'll crack the nut in half and you get the nut off. But we're going to use it, and we're going to use this in 4 different spots around this lug end, and use this spike to crimp it onto the copper. So we've connected the power cord to the primary of our modified transistor. You can see we have a nail between the 2 ends, so that should act as a resistor, and the amperage should melt that. We're not going to leave it on for too long because we could actually melt the insulation on these windings, as a spot welder is only supposed to put a spot weld in something that's not meant to stay on for a long period of time. So I don't know how long it's going to take for that to actually melt or anything like that, but we're going to get rolling and see what happens. Safety first, we got the fire extinguisher ready just in case. Here we go. Alright guys, we're back. The spot welder worked, so we had to cut a little bit short. It wasn't quite cold enough for me to start the wood stove up for the hour that I was going to be outside, so my camera actually started to get really laggy and slow, and the footage was getting grainy and all sorts of crap. So I got it inside, let it warm up. But yeah, so the nail, I don't think it really showed up on the camera. The nail did start to change color and heat up a little bit. I think that it probably wasn't making a super good connection just laid in there, so I used that spring that was a little bit thinner, obviously, just so it's going to heat up right away, and it instantly got hot and melted the spring. The camera actually died as well, so after I did that, I ran another spring through there and I just let it go until it popped, and it didn't take very long at all, a couple seconds, and that thing just completely sparks went everywhere and exploded. So that's great. It's going to work awesome. I was going to leave the nail in there and just see, but I really don't want to run current through it too long to see if it gets red hot, because I don't want to short out the system and melt everything down. Once I get the whole welder assembled and get my 2 safety switches in there, then we'll do a little bit more testing once everything's like officially wired up. The goal for today was to test the modified resistor and make sure that everything was working and that it would actually melt metal, and we got our answer. So thanks for tuning into this Sunday's video. Stay tuned.